Hey folks, this is Vince with Dance Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to revisit Infection-Free Zone. So I've covered this game about a week or two ago, and I just wanted to sort of give you guys a quick update because the game is due to release into early access in 2 or 3 days' time, and I wanted to show off the game as it stands right now so that you can be kind of informed as to what you're getting should you decide to pick up the game. So because this is pre-early access, everything that you're seeing is subject to change. As far as what the game is about, for those of you that haven't seen my prior videos, you're going to pick a spot on the globe. It's GPS, so like you can actually zoom in to particular cities and play in those cities. I love that. So if you want to play in Alaska, you can type in Alaska in the search box and the computer will look up at location and you can pick a particular location if you want to. There are some recommended ones off to the left, but you could totally, search via the search bar and then download those locations. I love that. I love that you can pretty much play anywhere you want. There are some limitations, but there's a lot to choose from. I love that. And the location that you pick is going to be a 3x3 grid. And that is the primary area that you'll be looting in this game. Now, you can loot in surrounding areas outside of the 3x3 grid. However, you loot them as an entire box rather than individual houses that might be within your 3x3 grid. You'll see what I'm saying in a minute. There is some limited game customization set up. You can choose like the starting horde number, resources, but it's super limited. And I was hoping to see more customization options in the future. Again, with this being pre-early access, I'm hoping that they'll include something like that. Once you actually get into the nitty-gritty of it, you're going to choose a headquarters location, and you're going to start constructing buildings, gathering resources, like in, say, RimWorld and other like open world survival games. You can draw a selection box around wood or metal, and your workers will go out and get it. And workers are a very limited resource in this game. You start with only so many, and you also have to create squads with these workers as well to go out into the world and do things. So you're kind of like, okay, how many squads should I have? You can have a maximum of 4 based on what I've seen. And you're going to construct buildings. You're going to try and gather food and ammo and weapons and so on. If you want a more in-depth look at all of that, go check out my prior videos. Again, this is more of like an overview. But getting back to that whole 3x3 thing, you're going to be looting individual houses and buildings in the 3x3 grid. But whenever you zoom out past that, you will like send people out to locations outside of your 3x3 grid, and it just loots the entire area, like the entire square, rather than like being able to zoom in on individual houses. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm guessing it's just a limitation. Like, could you imagine this game trying to render every single building, you know what I mean, outside of that 3x3 grid? It would probably be too much. And that makes sense because toward the end of my 2 to 3 hour play session, I had a lot of buildings. I was starting to get my research going. I had 4 squads. They were pretty buffed up. I had about 6 cars or so. Food was looking okay. I was trying to keep up with that because my population was growing as the result of taking new people in. But I got hit with some really nasty bugs. It's like the game worked great for about 3 hours or so, maybe a little bit more than that. But once I started getting to a certain point, I was around day 29, 30, weird stuff started to happen. Again, I was getting these random bug reports. The game didn't actually tell me what bugged out. It would just pop up with a bug report screen and ask me to fill in what I was doing. I'm like, well, how am I supposed to know what the bug is if you're not going to tell me? Like, I didn't notice anything. Maybe there was something going on behind the scenes that I didn't recognize. But yeah, it was just, I wish the game would actually tell me this bugged out. That would have been nice to know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and then as far as like what bugged out, like my resources, I had a warehouse, and my resources were like flashing, like they were having a seizure. I couldn't select any of them. So that was a huge issue. Like the resources I was storing, I couldn't manually actually take, which was kind of unfortunate. So, like, as far as like the current status of the game, it's still enjoyable. It's still playable up to a certain point. There's, according to the roadmap on the main menu, there's like still 3/4 of the features coming. So, like, this is a game that if you're gonna get it, enjoy it for what it is right now and expect bugs and problems. And don't expect a complete experience either. I mean, it's early access, that stands to reason, but still, I would still play this just because I enjoy games like this, like State of Decay and other zombie apocalypse survival games. I enjoy those games, so I would continue playing this. I would try at other locations, start over, and see if I could do any better. That said, it's like the same experience every time. You're getting the same story prompts every time, so it's gonna get stale after a while. So yeah, I still recommend it, but just be warned, it's currently buggy. Okay. Well, there you go, folks. A quick update on Infection Free Zone. This is Vince. Thanks for watching. Catch y'all next time. Take care.